please feel free to skip to qualifying. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time getting things set up and then we'll be good to go. Yeah, man, I'm not surprised. That was, I mean, what, like 5-6 corners to go? I was gutted for you on my stream as well. I couldn't believe it when I saw you go. I thought it was Speed. I thought Speed's controller had gone again, but yeah. But I am very pleased to get a win. Long time in the making. After Spa and Britain, so yeah, I'm from my point of view, I'm very happy, but it feels somewhat hollow after what happened to you. Mate, I don't... I remember I have name tags turned off, so I can't see when people go into AI anyway. And if someone else reports it, then... But, yeah. Hello Zuba, welcome to the stream. I'm looking forward to this one. Oh, are we going? Scott hasn't pressed ready, so I'm not sure why everyone's going. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. Ah, there we go. Now he's pressed ready. Okay, here we go then. I've got to get off Zach Sweeney's stream. I was just watching the previous race back. Right, let me get all my stats up. So, season finale in Brazil, always a good place for season finales. It's a shame we don't have it with that title in real F1 anymore, but in our virtual worlds we can do whatever the hell we want. And it's always nice to see Interlagos as a season finale because it produces some wonderful racing and it's wet. So that's interesting. I wonder if we're going to get any inside info on whether it will be wet in the race as well. But looks like inter weather, if not full wet. Actually, no, definitely inter. Is Rick on the grid for this race? No, he's not. Zubu is, though. So, our two championship contenders, Avi84 and Amir E77. 9.5 points separate them. So all Amir needs to do to win the championship is to come in the top 9, I think. 12 points. Top 8. He needs to be top 8 to guarantee winning the championship, and that's only if Avi wins the race. So nothing is guaranteed in motorsport, but Amir is in a very, very strong position coming into this season finale, as Seb Mail will be the first man to settle at in the AlphaTauri. He has gone out on the Inters, as have everyone else. Leclerc 1090 has joined, a little bit late. Hopefully he can at least get into the session. We've got a few newbies today. I notice we've got Showsman, Le Rappel I haven't seen before, and Neil I've seen before. Leclerc, of course, I haven't seen before. Leclerc 1090. And Callum, I don't think I've commentated on Callum before, but I have seen him around in other leagues. But anyway, Seb Mail on to his first lap of the session on the intermediate tyres, so it's going to be a very tough qualifying. I do wonder if it's going to get dry later. We'll have to find out. But here he comes, round turns 1, 2 and 3. That's very a little bit wide there. Didn't quite get the turn in right through turn 2. And he's very wide through turn 4 as well. It's tough to find the limits as the Mercedes goes for a spin on his outlap. Not sure who that was. Was it Zuba? It was Zuba. Okay. If it, I was going to say if it was Amir, that does not bode well. But here comes Seb Mail. He's had a bit of he's struggled a bit through sector 1 and turn 4, but it's very hard to find the limits on elite settings. He goes very, very deep there, and it's going to have to recover from that. I think that's turn 10. Comes through turn 11. I wonder if we'll see him come into the pits. We shouldn't do. He should go on for another lap. As he comes around the final corner. Of course, all of these drivers racing without the line. So it's very tricky to find the limits in the wet weather, because you have to change everything you know about the track. So Seb Mail sets the initial pace with a 1 minute 18.6 as Amir begins his lap. Who's that coming across the line? I think that's the Williams. Speed Alcoholic, there we go. Now that's a representative lap time. Speed Alcoholic in the Alfa Romeo with a 16.4. And he's been absolutely dominant on pace in this championship, but his race finishes have not been up to scratch. So he's pretty much out of this title fight, but hoping that he'll be able to turn it around. He's got a Dutch helmet on. I believe that's Casper Akkerman's helmet in braking. For the Dutch Grand Prix that was earlier, and he's hasn't had time to change it, obviously. There's Neil in the McLaren, has gone P3 for now, 19.0. And he's 5/10 up through Sector 1 already, so Neil looking to improve for sure. Who's that coming across the line? Is that Callum? It is, and he goes P2 with a 16.8, which is very respectable indeed, pretty close to speed. So he comes through times 1, 2, and 3 as well. Is this Amir coming across the line? It's 17.4, so well off speed's pace for the championship leader. Irapol. It does look like a lowercase L. At least give me that. Tia, he loves the rain. In the Williams, and he goes P4 for now, 17.9, and he's going to be looking to improve on that for sure. I think these first laps are going to be less representative, and things are going to get faster as they learn the track better, of course, with the no line, as Tia nearly goes for a spin, and Amir goes... wait, no. Oh, Neil improved with a 17.4, and then goes into the wall. He's lucky not to crash out of the session, as Ted does a 23.8, so... not really a representative lap time from the man in the Red Bull. But yeah, Neil will be thanking his lucky stars that he has not crashed out of the session. And there goes Avi, the championship challenger, into P2 with a 16.8, just about beating his teammate today, which is Callum. Onto the front row for now, but he needs to win this race. I don't think he can accept anything other than a race win, because I cannot see Amir finishing outside of the top 10. I just can't see it. And I mean, of course, even if Avi wins the race, if Amir finishes top 8, then that's all he needs to do. And he'll be winning the championship. And there he goes into P2 as Speed Alcoholic does a 15.8. Now that's really set a marker for everyone else. Come on then, come and beat that, he says, in the Alfa Romeo, as Amir does beat his championship rival onto the front row now. About 3/10 faster in that Mercedes, so Avi has got some work to do. Don't know what the weather's going to be like in the race. I hope it's dry, because it makes it more strategical, because this is a very strategical track in the race. There's several different strategies that you could do. I know some of these drivers watch the commentary stream, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on what the best strategy is, but I will say that there is one strategy that seems like it would work well, and it does not work well, and you lose a lot of time from doing it. So we'll have to see if our drivers get into the right strategy zones, as Avi now goes on the front row again. Amir 16.2, but Avi at 15.9, and he's right behind Speed Alcoholic now. I wonder if the track's getting drier or the drivers just getting faster. It could be a combination of the two as well, as that Speed Alcoholic comes across the line again, but he doesn't improve this time. I think that's Avi is the lead Alpine. He's 2/10 slower, so I think he'll probably be coming into the pits now. Whereas Callum is 6/10 up. So he's going to be looking to beat his teammate onto the front row for now. Here he comes in the Alpine, the reserve driver, I believe. Hugs the inside wall, and it's going to be a 16-2, and he goes into P3 for now, just about beating Amir, and that's crucial for Avi. He needs as many cars between him and Amir as possible. Several cars coming into the pits. Lost Stock is coming over to set his first lap of the session. It's an 18.5 and puts in P7. But I think the drivers who went out late are at a disadvantage, because the more laps you do in the wet, the more you get used to the track and the better you get. I think that was Leclerc coming across the line for P5 with a 16.7. Currently the top four, I say that, Speed Alcoholic does a 15.5, even faster. Sets down another marker to the rest of the field, and I'm sure he'll be coming into the pits on this lap. Yellow flags, I think that's just cars slowing down. And, yeah, the top four seem fairly similar in pace at the moment, but of course we're still yet to see some drivers set representative lap times, I think. Who's coming through? Callum's coming through, but he's not on a lap. He's coming into the pits. There's a Ferrari. Is that Womax coming up to the line? Moti Peretz is about to start his lap, but here comes Womax. Down through the last actual corner. These corners up to the line are all flat out. Although they might not be in the wet, I'm not so sure. But here comes Womax in the Ferrari. It's going to be an 18.2, and he goes P8 to start off with, but he's going to be going again, I'm sure. There's a Williams coming across the line. I think that's ESRL, and he goes into P6. The 17.2, decent lap from the Williams. I think also a reserve driver. Here comes Tia. He was up in the second sector, but only by a few thousandths of a second, and he can't beat his time in third sector, so he will be going again. It's Ted on an outlap. The Alfa Romeo, that's Speed. He's coming to the pits. Looks like Lost Stock. No, that's not Lost Stock. Who is that? It's Seb Mail, so he's going to be going out again. He needs to improve. He's currently down in P12 with an 18.6. What's this going to be? It's an 18.5, and he does beat Lost Stock into P11, but I don't think he's going to be too happy with that. He'll want to be in the top 10 at least. It's always good to set a marker being in the top 10. If you're in the top 10, then that's decent. That's always good. Of course, P11 is a good place to be if qualifying is dry, because it's the strategical pole position, as it were. Of course, with the wet qualifying, that doesn't really matter, and you just want to be as far up as you can get. As Lost Stock does improve with a 17.8, goes up into 8th, and ESRL as well, up into P5 with a 16.5. So the times are coming down, the drivers are improving as Avi sets off on his lap. We'll follow him round, we'll ride on board with the Alpine. The championship challenger, he has to win this race, I think. He has to win this race. If he doesn't win this race and Amir finishes, I can't see Amir not finishing in the top 10. I just can't see it. So here comes Avi, round turn 5 and 6, coming into sector 2. A little bit of a lock up there, but not too big of a deal, I don't think. As he comes round here in the Alpine up towards sector 3. Need to get the inside of this corner, but he's a bit hesitant on exit, understandably so. Here he comes. He's just half a tenth up, so he's not quite on Speed's level, and he does mess up the final corner a little bit there, and has a little bit of a slide on exit as well. What's the time going to be? I'm not sure it's going to be too much better, if it's better at all. I don't think it is better. It isn't. So he will be going again for another lap, but in the meantime, let's keep an eye on everyone else. There's a Red Bull coming across the line for an outlap, I think. This is Lost Stock coming across the line. He's going into the pits, and the Williams behind follows him in as well. Here comes Neil in the McLaren, the only McLaren on the grid today. He comes around the final corner and up to the line. It's going to be no improvement for him. Oh yeah, 1.1 seconds down, so not ideal. Here comes Vans racing across the line. Slight improvement, but not enough to get him up the grid. Seb Mail comes across again, and no improvement there either. Drivers finding it tricky out there. But again, understandably so. It's a little wet. Hi, Zach. How are you doing? Speed at Brazil. At least you won't run out of things to say. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think Speed absolutely adores this track. He's proved it many times in the past. So, unless he makes a big mistake, I can't see him losing this race. Or a badly timed safety car or something. But Avi, that doesn't work for him. He needs to win this race to have a chance. He's 9.5 points behind. And if he doesn't get those 2 extra points for winning the race, he's going to be well out of the running. As long as Amir finishes well. Leclerc has been disqualified from the session. So he'll be starting from the back. He's not going to be happy about that. Rumax has come across the line. Neil in the McLaren, is he improving? No, he's 2 tenths down and he's coming into the pits. Vans racing. Coming across the line. Is he up on his previous time? I don't think he was. I think that was a plus behind the comment bar. Badly timed safety car. Don't say that. Rick will start shaking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to mention anything about Zandvoort, but in return I want him to not mention anything about Monaco. So I think we've got a nice truce there going. Who's coming across the line? There's a Mercedes. Here he comes. It's Amir. He goes up into P3. He does beat Callum onto that front spot of the second row. But he's still behind his championship rival at the moment. But remember, all he needs to do is finish top 8, and he will win the title no matter what Avi does. So those are the stakes for him. As Seb Mail's going across the grass. There's Showsman, goes into P13 for now. Wumax goes into P8 with a 17.5. That's much better from the Bulgarian. Is that Vans Racing coming across the line? It is. And he's a second up on his previous best. So Vans Racing looking to get into the top 10 here. What can he do? He hugs the wall as he comes up to the line. It's a 17.7 and he goes P9. That's a great lap from Vans Racing. In the Haas, he'll be very chuffed with that position if it ends like this, I think. It's a speed alcoholic. He's on an out lap, so he's about to start his lap. I would love to see how much time is left, but unfortunately the yellow flag is covering it. Here comes Amir, a 15.877. He's 100th of a second behind his championship rival for that front row, who's still in the pits, by the way. Speeds controller could let him down, don't forget. That's a good point. That's a good point. It could well do. It has been letting him down in the past. There's just over a minute left, so Avi is not going to... Oh, he is on an outlap, but I don't think he's going to make it. It's going to be very tight. No, I think he will make it, but it will be tight. I think it will be less than 10 seconds in it also. So he is out. He's going to have one more lap in that Alpine, but he's not going to have the tyres up to temperature when he does. Or at least not up to temperature as they could be. So I think maybe he should have come out a bit earlier, but regardless, here comes Speed. Is he up through? Yes, he is. I think that's a minus behind the comment bar. I'm not sure how much up he was, but it is a purple sector too. As he comes around the last few corners now in the Alfa Romeo, can he go even faster and cement his pole position? Yes, he can. A 14.8 absolutely blows the competition out of the water. Not even close. A full second between him and Avi right now. And he's going to go on another lap. He's going to go again. There's front wing everywhere. Is that Avi? No, it's not. It was Callum who had a moment, and he's currently driving in reverse gear. Not sure about that. But here comes Avi. He's down in the first sector, just about half a tenth. As qualifying is now over, so everyone on a lap. This will be their last attempt And that's a Williams of Tier coming across the line. He loves the rain. Where's he going to put it? P9 for the Williams. How has that man not won more? I agree. I think Speed Alcoholic is absolutely right at home here in Brazil. He loves this track. As was that ESRL? No, it was someone improved. I'm not sure who it was. I missed that one, sorry. But Amir has finished a lap, so he won't improve. He will be only on the second row as Avi. Oh no, he spun at the last corner. I don't know if he was up on his time. Maybe he spun to trying to improve a little bit more because he wasn't quite on his previous time. It looked like he reset to track there, but I'm gonna say for the record, if you spin there, the game often automatically resets you, so I don't think he reset to track there. I don't think he would be that stupid to just get a needless penalty for resetting in qualifying, so just to say. But that will be that for qualifying. Speed Alcoholic on pole by a full second over Avi84, who needs to win this race to have a chance at this championship, you feel. Amir, the championship leader in P3, all he needs to do is finish in the top 8, remember, and he will win the title. Callum5729 in a strong P4, despite the crash at the end of the session. Irapel, the newbie, in P5, very good session for him as well. Scott will be happy with P6, I think. Neil just behind in P7, Wumax in P8. Tier does get in the top 10 in P9 in this wet qualifying. I wonder what the weather's going to be like for the race. We'll have to find out. I hope it's dry, as I said. Vans Racing in P10 into the top 10 for the Haas driver. We don't often see him in the top 10, so I think he'll be quite happy with that. Lostock down in P11. As Seb Mail takes P12, Moti Peretz in P13, and then Showsman, the newbie, P14. Ted down in P15 for the Red Bull, the last man to set a time. Zuba with no time on the board. Kapitanov, also the Bulgarian, with no time. And Leclerc, the Indian driver, DSQ'd from the session, unfortunately, when he was, I think he was in a strong top 6 qualifying position, so he'll be quite annoyed with himself for that one, whether it was his fault or not. But Speed Alcoholic, a full second clear of the rest of the field in these wet conditions, and I don't think anyone is going to be able to touch him today if he doesn't make any mistakes, or if his controller behaves, so we'll have to find out. Leclerc doing a Zach, yeah. And a me, don't forget. He's done a me as well. Yeah, it's automatic. Yeah, so Scott, if you do watch this afterwards, which I'm sure you will, Avi, I'm sure, is innocent of that crime. So we get ready to go. Tier says he thinks he has a chance. I hope so, mate. I really hope to see you up there today. It is dry for the race, thankfully, at least for now. There's no clouds in the sky from what I can see. There's maybe a couple, but it doesn't look too dire at the moment, so fingers crossed it stays dry for our driver's sakes. Although, if it goes wet towards the end, that could be some spicy drama. Speed leads lap 1, it's his to lose. Avi needs to launch well and controller. I couldn't agree more, Zach. Speed, I think he is absolutely electric at this track, and if he leads into turn 1, I think it's as good as done. He's starting on the mediums, interestingly. Let's have a look at those tyres. So Speed on the mediums, and then everyone else except Ted and Kapitanov right at the back of the grid will be starting on the softs. So Speed will be looking to go on to the softs towards the end of the race. As Kapitanov has left the session, unfortunately. But that gives Avi a chance. If he can get past Speed, and if he can keep the Alfa Romeo behind, at least until he pits, then he might be in with a shot, because that would really disrupt Speed's strategy. All Speed wants to do is lead from the front, be absolutely control the race. As he goes on the grass a little bit, that's not how you control a race, but luckily it's the formation lap. It's taking those mediums to lap 33, where there's a safety car for softs. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't put it past him. I honestly wouldn't. How he manages to get those tyres to last so long on this track, I don't know. I really don't. As he goes for a huge slide out the final corner just for style points. He's feeling pretty confident, I would think. As long as his controller doesn't let him down, of course. Avi in P2, of course, he needs a good start. He needs to jump Speed, and he needs to give himself at least a chance of winning this race, and he needs to hope that Amir has an absolute disaster. As Leclerc has now left the session. Speed, you fucking show off. Alright, here we go. Last few cars getting into place on the grid. And we're ready to get underway for the ESRL Season 1 finale here in Brazil. Here we go. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway. That was very quick for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Avi looked like he got a good launch. Is he going to launch one to the inside? Amir got a good start as well, but he's not going to be able to send one. Here comes Avi and Amir are side by side, the two championship rivals. Speed has gotten away really well, but Avi has kept ahead for now. Here comes Amir. We're going to ride on board as they come into turn 4. He's not going to try and make a move as of yet, as the timing screen has a little bit of a moment trying to figure itself out. But Avi in P2 as Callum gets back up the inside of ESRL after a little bit of a mistake from the Williams driver. There's places being exchanged all over the place. I don't know what's happening. Rumax has gone wide. Zub has gone a bit wide as well. But Rumax all the way down to P17. He'll be gutted with that as they come through. Let's switch to position changes. So everyone in the top 5 still holding station for now, as Speed has already opened a gap of over a second to Avi, and he's looking to control the race now on those medium tyres. Terrible start for Womax, as we know, but everyone else pretty holding station at the moment. Leclerc the only one to gain more than 2 positions. As Callum now having a look at Amir, he's going to go round the outside into turn 1. This is crucial for the championship. If Callum can have a run on Avi's championship rival, but he can't. Trying to help his teammate out there a bit. We'll change back to tyres. Sorry about that. All my intervals are gone, which is a little bit annoying. And Speed wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Well, as we know, his controller has been letting him down lately, so I hope it doesn't happen, because he would deserve another Brazilian Grand Prix victory, but if his controller dies, it's all to play for. As things are calming down a little bit now. That was a pretty hectic first lap as Vans Racing goes up the inside of Scott. That's a great move from the Haas driver. Scott struggling a bit. He ships another position and maybe even another one. Has he got front wing problems? I think he may do, because he went very wide and he's really struggling now through turn, I think that's turn 11. It doesn't look like he has any damage, but he's really struggling in that Red Bull. Speed Alcoholic sets the fastest lap as we move on, as Neil now goes down the inside of ESRL. He does have a little look, but backs out of it in the end. Or maybe the Williams driver broke much later. Is it broke or braked? Never been sure in the context of motorsport. I know it's usually broke, but motorsport I'm not sure. Anyway, Kapitanov down the inside of Scott, who does pit, so I guess he did have damage to that Red Bull, which is a shame. I've lost all my intervals again. I have to try and see what's happening on the mini-map. If a safety car comes out, I may have to take a little bit of a break to get a drink, because my voice is already complaining. My throat, rather. All about rhythm and momentum. Lose one, you lose two, and you lose three. Absolutely. And then you lose all the way down the straight towards four as well. And with DRS now enabled, that could be crucial if there's a car right behind you. As here comes Neil again down the inside of ESRL. He sets the fastest lap in the McLaren as well. There's a little bit of wheel banging as they come through, but space is left and Neil is through for now. But ESRL's going to have another look down the inside up towards turn 4. They've both got DRS. I don't think ESRL's going to have the chance here. No, he's not. He backs out of it, but Neil goes very deep. There's no way through for the Williams. Amir still right behind his championship rival. Braked for stopping, broke for something physically braking. Gotcha. I will still probably interchangeably use broke and braked, because my mind doesn't work that fast to correct myself before I say things. But anyway, Scott gets himself 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and he's gone into the pits again. That's a shame. That's a really good qualifying for him. It's all come undone. As Avi now trying to catch back up to speed. He is back within a second of the Alfa Romeo, who is on the mediums, remember. As Amir is right behind, and Scott has retired from the session now. Is that in the pit lane? I think it was in the pit lane. So he's decided to call it a day, and I'm sure we'll see him in the comments in the live chat pretty soon. Amir still trying to find a way through his championship rival, but doesn't want to force anything. He just needs to finish in the top 8 and he will win the title. As Moti Peretz gets past Shosman as they go a bit side by side, and Shosman has had a little bit of a spin, comes back on the track, but the AlphaTauri shipping a few positions there with a spin, unfortunately. For the newbie, it's always tough in your first race in a new league. As ESRL still right behind Neil. He's not given this up. As he gets a much better exit than the McLaren. He's side by side already before the DRS zone. And I don't think Neil is going to have too much to say about that. As Avi gets absolutely swamped in the home straight. I'm not sure what happened to him there, but Amir and Callum both passed the championship challenger, and Amir is into P2. Callum trying to challenge him through turn 1, 2 and 3, but loses out in the end, and this is perfect for Speed Alcoholic because he doesn't want these guys on his tail. He just wants to control the race all on his own and have a nice peaceful 36 laps around Interlagos. Neil couldn't get back past ESRL after that overtake, as Avi now gets past Callum. I'm not sure if that was team orders or not. That Avi is back into P3, Shosman into the pits, as Leclerc has retired from the session. That's a strange place to retire. We have got a safety car. Can we see Leclerc's car? Yes, there it is. Not sure what happened to him there. Maybe an overcorrection as he came through. And that will be a safety car, which is terrible for Speed Alcoholic, actually. It's going to mean he's going to have to transition to a 2-stop, unless he goes onto the hards, which is something he could do. We'll have to find out. No, he stays out in the Alfa Romeo. I'm not sure about that one. Amir also stays out as Avi comes in. Amir is not making enough of these soft speeders, only going to get quicker. Yeah, absolutely. But remember, all he needs to do, all he's focused on, as long as he's worked out the maths of it, he'll know that all he has to do is finish in the top 8. As Avi goes on to the hard tyres. As everyone else goes on to the mediums. Can they get to the end on mediums? That will be about 30 odd laps. It's possible. I've seen it happen. But it's very tricky. I think that's going to more likely to be a 2-stop. But Avi is out on the hard, so he's definitely looking to go to the end. He's going to have to hope that there isn't another safety car. As I'm going to take this opportunity to go and get a drink, so I'll be right back. My throat is hurting. And I'm back. If anyone can, Speed can. I assume that means taking mediums to the end from here. But he hasn't come in. Is he going to come in this lap? No, he does stay out. So he's committed to his strategy, Speed. He doesn't care about the safety car. He's going to keep on driving and hope that Amir can't take advantage of this. Or Callum. Avi is only down in P4, so he hasn't lost too much time because everyone else behind him also pitted, except Ted, who's all the way up to P5 now. But on those used mediums, he's going to find himself in a spot of bother at the restart, I think. Womack's into the pits. Yeah, this safety car causing some problems and some different strategical choices. Avi onto the hards. He's going to go all the way to the end and hope that there's not another safety car. So of course those 9.5 points he needs to gain on Amir. He needs to do something different because it wasn't working what he was doing before. So he's going to try something else. Try and outfox his championship rivals instead of outrace them. And only time will tell if it will work. I think we'll be out for one more lap because that Alpha Tauri of Seb Mail is still got a way to come. But of course this brings everyone back into contention. It's not all about the championship rivals. Everyone else is trying to have a good race as well. And it's good for all those drivers who have not had the best first stint to get back into the action again. I'm sure some drivers will be very happy to see that safety car. So I know how it feels to have a terrible start to the race and then your prayers are answered and a safety car comes out and suddenly you're back in the race. But we will have to keep our focus on the championship fight. It's not just about the drivers either today. We do have a constructors fight on our hands as well between Alpine and Mercedes. There's only 13.5 points between them. Alpine looking pretty good at the moment. They are on top. Kapitanov into the pits again. I'm not sure if that's going to hold the safety car out for any longer. I hope not. But yeah, as long as both Alpines finish, I think they will have this Constructors' Championship in the bag. Avi's usual teammate absent today, but Callum filling in and doing a good job for now. Too much on the fly maths for me to care. Fair enough. I do think Alpine have this if they both finish the race. But you know, if Zuber can get himself back up the grid and an Alpine DNFs, then Mercedes will be back in the fight as well. As a safety car is in this lap now. That's a very late call for the safety car to be in this lap. Callum goes a bit alongside Amir. When will Speed punch it? It's a dynamic view now. We'll have to watch and see when he'll go. Let's ride on board. He's still keeping everyone behind for now. Everyone trying to second guess the Alfa Romeo. When will he punch it? He's waiting a long time. He's gone at the red barrier. Here we go as Amir tries to follow him and Avi gets a terrible getaway. And Ted, now there's 3 abreast, the 2 Alpines and Ted. Ted backs out in the end, but he does try and have a go down the inside again, but he can't quite do it. Callum still in P3 for now. Couldn't quite make the move on Amir, but he's right behind the Mercedes. And again, Speed is just getting away while these two battle. Tia gets himself a time penalty already, but here comes Callum round the outside of the Mercedes. He's trying to get the switcheroo in towards turn 5 and 6. I don't think that's going to work. And indeed, they nearly go side by side up the hill, but Amir keeps the position for now. All the while, Speed is laughing. He's very happy right now as all of these guys fighting it out. And Showsman gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Avi just needs to stay with this lot, remember. He doesn't have to stop again, in theory. So all he wants to do is stick with these guys and don't let them get away too much. That's Callum. He has a huge slide, but he manages to keep it on the track. Ted goes through as well. He's very lucky not to DNF there. He has another slide on those hot tyres as he comes out the corner, and here comes ESRL as well. He's going to get swamped down the straight here. It's almost going to be 5 abreast as they come down the straight towards turn 1. Here comes Neil and ESRL all side by side as they come down towards turn 1. Callum keeps the position for now, and Neil was spun. I think there was a bit of contact between him and Callum, and the McLaren is into the wall. ESRL is down as well. I think he may have taken some damage as Callum keeps P5 for now, but at what cost? Amir! Oh, okay, I thought he was side by side with someone. I'm not sure what happened there with the visuals. It looked like he was side by side with another car, but he wasn't. As Lostock goes down the inside of Womax through turn 4 and 5, and it looks like he's going to make the move. No, he's not. Womax comes back at him. The Ferrari, there's the 2 cars ahead at side by side as well. As they come through, ESRL, he's not going to be able to get the move back done on Womax, and Womax gets back through in the Ferrari. Good move there. Good respectful racing between those guys. Avi is now losing a lot of time to Amir. 1.7, 1.8 seconds, but he just needs to stay within a short range of him, because he does have to pit again, Amir, in the Mercedes. Here comes Callum on Ted, down the inside towards turn 1. That's on par with Womax at Beckett's. Yeah, it was one hell of a save, as here comes Callum, dives down the inside of Ted and gets the move, and Ted cuts the corner a bit to try and keep up with him, but is in the end going to say, alright, off you go, Callum. I will just keep P5 and watch for Tier behind, who's doing well in P6. And Showsman, by the way, wasn't he down in P13 at the restart? He's all the way up to P7. As Moti Peretz, the 2 Ferraris side by side through turn 4. Womax on the outside gets the move done on his teammate. So great move from Womax again. He's loving these overtakes at the moment through that section of the track. He is on fresh softs, remember, in a field of mediums and hards, but he's making his way through well. Amir is within a second of speed. Avi just over 2 seconds behind now on those hard tyres. When are those softs going to start to deteriorate though? Remember, they've had some laps under the safety car, so they have had a little bit of respite, but how much longer they will last is another question. Amir does set the fastest lap though, so he's definitely on course. He nearly has a go at speed there. The gap was very small, as Avi has a little bit of a slide out of turn 1, I think. As Womax now gets past Vans Racing as well. That's an AlphaTauri very wide. I think that was Showsman just up ahead. And Vans ships another position on those hard tyres. He is struggling. He's going to have the DRS on Moti Peretz though, and he's going to look to the inside. I'm not sure if he's going to have the pace though. He doesn't. And Kapitanov gets comfortably past Seb Mail in the meantime. The other Haas doing a bit better now, which is good to see. He hasn't had the best of times in the last few races, so good to see him having a good race. And just like that, I've cursed him and he gets a 3-second time penalty. But regardless, now the 2 Ferraris still fighting it out. Van's trying to get involved as well. Showsman a little bit wide, and Womax smells more blood in that Ferrari. You can see Showsman up ahead. He knows he has a penalty as well. He gets very wide again, the AlphaTauri, really struggling to keep it in the track here, as Tier now right on the back of Ted in that Williams. Here he comes. He's going to have DRS up to turn 1. We've got to keep an eye on Womax and Showsman as well. Womax round the outside of Showsman on the main straight, and that move's going to be comfortably done. Is Tier going to have a go? No, he's not. So he's going to have to stick behind for now. Amir within a second of speed still, 0.6, but this is the battle to watch at the moment on track. Here comes Tier round the outside of Ted up towards turn 4. I think it's going to be done before the corner, despite them both having no battery left, but Tier goes very wide. Could that invite Ted back through? No, it couldn't. So Tier was a bit of a Verstappen there, and but he does manage to keep the position in similar fashion. Showsman absolutely mugged by Womax there. It goes wide again, so the AlphaTauri struggling a little bit to keep on pace with the rest of these guys, but he's doing alright. He's still in P8. He's not doing too badly on those fresh softs. He will have to stop again. Callum Coming through less than 2 seconds now behind his teammate. It's gone back up to 2.1. Yeah, those old softs are going to start to betray him, and Amir as well is going to start losing time to speed pretty soon as those softs get older and older. Moti Peretz through on the AlphaTauri as well, despite no battery left at all. All of these drivers, so many of these drivers, no battery at all. 20%, 10%, 10%, 5%. Avi on 30%, even he's struggling. Amir, even he's struggling on 10%, but Speed Alcoholic, look at him! He's riding free! He's very happy on 70% battery. And he is fully in control of this race right now, Speed Alcoholic. The only thing he's got to worry about really at the moment is Avi on those hard tyres, who will be going to the end. But even then, I think Speed's going to be so fast on those softs at the end of the race that it's not going to matter too much. As he comes through, are there any battles going on? Showsman on Lostock. I think Lostock just about got through the AlphaTauri. We need a Ghost and Vardy Academy to ERS management. We do. As Irapel gets himself another 3-second time penalty. But yeah, all of these drivers, like Seb Mail's got plenty in the bag, but all of these drivers who are fighting, they're really struggling for ERS as Womax gets past Ted, who must have made a mistake out of the final corner. Lostock is going to have an opportunity on Moti Peretz as well. They're both equally bad on ERS, but that doesn't matter because Lostock's got the DRS. Moti Peretz has a send to the inside through turn 1 as they both lock up. But Lostock's got the move done for now. I don't think Moti Peretz is really going to have a chance, or is he? They're both out of ERS. The Ferrari's got the DRS. Look at that closing speed round the outside of the Aston Martin, and Lostock goes down the inside. Of great counter move from the Aston Martin, and he gets back in front. It didn't look like he had anywhere to go, anything to say about Moti Peretz's overtake, but he did. And the Aston Martin up into P8 with a great move. As Amir, yeah, look at that. Those softs really starting to struggle now. 2 seconds he's lost to Speed Alcoholic. Ted locks up a bit there. And Callum as well, he's struggling. He just got a time penalty for track limits. And he's now 3.5 seconds behind his teammates. So those softs really going. And I think we're going to see those guys pitting soon. This is usually the sort of area of the race where you want to pit if you're doing a soft-medium strategy. And indeed, Callum does come in. I think we'll see Amir come in on the next lap, perhaps, as Womax comes through, as Callum's going to lose a lot of places. Where's he going to come out, I wonder? Tia gets himself another 3-second time penalty. Yet again, driving really well, but just those time penalties are going to let him down at the end of the race, I think. Beautiful indeed. It's been great racing so far. As Lostock gets himself past... Oh no, Moti Peretz gets himself past Lostock. He's made it work this time. He's done pretty much exactly the same that Lostock did to him on the previous lap. And the Ferrari is through up to P7. Good move. And Lostock doesn't have anything to say about it this time, on the outside this time. And Showsman is back in the race as well, as he, I'm sure, will have gotten a warning for that particular corner cut. Well, it wasn't really a corner cut, but you know what I mean. He is still struggling with those braking zones. It is really hard, especially around here. With no line, Ted with a 3-second time penalty, he's not going to be happy with that. But Vans Racing looking to close up as well. Is Amir? No, Amir stays out again. That's 17 laps. Granted, he's had some safety car laps, but that's a very long way to go on those softs. And I think, well, we saw Kiernan in APPF1 Tier 1 make a strategical error. He went for the 2-stop in the finale of APPF1. Is that some raindrops I see? Maybe that's why he's holding it out for so long. There are some raindrops on the track. And the clouds are forming. There is some rain on the camera. And Avi, he's gone onto the hards. Is he going to regret that? Did he check the weather before he started this race, as Moti Peretz nearly goes into the back of Ted? Is that going to invite Lostock around the outside maybe? Zuba goes onto the inters. So yeah, Avi is going to start regretting that choice to go on the hards as he sees the rain. I don't think he checked the weather, as Lostock goes for a mighty send on Moti Peretz down the inside. He's going to have the outside line round turn 11 up towards turn 12. Was this 13 or 14? I can't quite remember, but he's not going to have the run. But he is going to have the DRS as they come up the straight. Moti's got much less battery in the tank. He does have DRS off Ted though. Those hards are going to be cold. They are. It was about 17% chance of rain before the race, says Scott. So I think Avi's just gotten very unlucky there. As the rain is falling, how much is it going to fall though? Is it going to go all the way to interweather, or is it going to stay out a bit like this? Amir is looking to hold it and try and go on the inters. Here comes Moti Peretz down the inside of Ted. Lostock tries to go round the outside, but he finds a Red Bull in the way. He now goes down the inside of the Red Bull, and Ted just with nothing to say about that. Both cars past the Northern Irishman into P6 and 7, and Moti Peretz is charging through on those mediums. Ted really struggling. Those mediums have been since the start of the race, and he's starting to struggle on them now, as Showsman is going to be looking for a way through on those softs as well, but they are 12 laps old, so he's going to start struggling on those pretty soon. Is Amir going to come in? He's got Avi right behind him, by the way. Avi is really caught up. That was very stealthy. I didn't even notice that gap come down so far. And Avi, on those hard tyres, is back past his championship rival. This is crucial. Amir, he hasn't got any ERS left, but neither has Avi. Here comes Amir. Is he going to have DRS? Is he going to make a move on those 19-lap-old soft tyres? He's not. And he's going to start really dropping back from the Alpine now. But, of course, Tier is the next car down the road, 9.5 seconds behind, so Amir doesn't feel like he's in any danger, but he is trying to hold it out for the intermediate weather, I think. And they're both 6 seconds behind Speed. We've got yellow flags through sector 2. I'm not sure what caused that. Was that Speed? It was Speed. Speed had a bit of a moment. He's having more moments. It's definitely getting slippier out there, as Amir's struggling as well, but we know how good he is in changeable conditions, so I'm not too worried about him. But Speed is struggling. Is he going to come into the pits now for the inters? No, he's going to stay out, so it is getting slippy out there. But I'm not sure how it's going to go. Is that Seb Mails round through Sector 2? Where's Moti been? Yeah. For sure, where has this pace come from? Moti Peretz now on the back of his teammate, who's struggling on those 11-lap-old soft tyres. He's got the DRS, but no battery to play with. Is he going to have a send down the inside? No, but Womack brakes very late, and Moti could take advantage of that as they come through turns 2 and 3 up towards the next DRS zone. Amir already 1.5 seconds behind his championship rival. Vans and Neil swap places as well as Neil goes through, but here's the battle to watch. The two Ferraris. Moti Peretz has a little look down the inside of his teammate. He can't make the move, of course, because these conditions are getting slipperier and slipperier, and it's getting harder and harder to make sends like that work. As, oh, he nearly goes into the back of his teammate. That would have been some drama. But he manages to avoid it, and Lostock is going to look for a way through as well. Ted as well behind. Is that Callum gone again in the Alpine? So the two number 2 Alpine and Mercedes drivers really struggling out there, which is in the end a net gain for Alpine in the Constructors' Championship. And they're looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Moti and APPF1, Twig SpongeBob, Moti and ESRL, Buff SpongeBob. Yeah, pretty much. And Ted makes a huge error out of the last corner, and Showsman gets his way through. The two Ferraris side by side again. Moti Peretz gets his way through down the inside of his teammate. Is Womack's going to have a look back, because Moti went very deep through turn 1 and 2. Womack might have an opportunity here. He's got more ERS in the bank. He's got the DRS, but he's broken out of the slipstream, which I think was a mistake. He might have had a chance if he'd stayed in the slipstream a bit longer. And the Bulgarian has to sit behind the Israeli Ferrari driver for now. Lostock as well, still looking for a way through. He's waiting for these two to collide. In a sort of Leclerc-Vettel kind of situation. That's what he's looking for. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3. That's Seb Mail round again. He's really not having a good time out there. I do feel for him. But Zuba, I mean, those inters have not served him well so far, but I don't know if it's ever going to get into interweather. It's very light rain still. And I don't think it's quite Inters yet. Womax has so much pace, I just wished he has a bit more confidence in initiating wheel-to-wheel. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. As Showsman goes for a big spin on the exit of the final corner, very easy to do in these conditions. I wonder if we're going to see him come into the pits. We are indeed. I'll have to watch to see what tyres he goes on, but we've got to keep an eye on this battle between the two Ferraris. Womax with DRS, but he's not close enough to his teammate to make a move into turn 4 quite yet, and that's a Haas round. I think that's Kapitanov round in sector 2. Van's still doing very well. Avi 5 seconds behind speed now. He is making progress towards the race leader. 5.5 seconds, it used to be 6, so Avi making very slow progress. And Amir is dropping back and back and back, but he's not dropping back to tier, so he'll be pretty happy as speed comes into the pits, and Womax goes for a send on Moti Peretz down the inside, and his teammate hasn't got much to say about that as they come through the final corner. He's going to have the DRS, but he's too far back. Amir and Speed both into the pits. They're putting the inters on. Speed is putting the inters on. Is Amir going to do the same? I wonder. What tyres has he got? He's got the inters, so they've decided the time has come. DRS is still enabled, so Womax in as well. Tier in for the inters. When is Avi going to decide to come in? As he has a slide nearly on those hard tyres, he's got to come in on this lap, you have to think. Amir comes out in a distant P5. Is he going to be in front of the other Alpine? Crucially, yes. Callum on those mediums is going to struggle as well, and it's definitely starting to get into weather. I think they've made the right decision, and Avi's going to lose a huge amount of time to do a lap on those hards. There's a bit of a Lando Norris situation here. Amir was on those from the start. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. 23 laps on those medium tyres. 22, sorry. DRS now disabled, so that is typically the cut-off point. That is where you come in for the inters. The others have decided to go a lap early, and I think it was the right call. Avi's lost a huge amount of time to speed. He comes in now, but where is Amir? Watch for the Mercedes on the right. As here comes Speed Alcoholic, so he's through. That Mercedes is Zuber, that's a lapped car, so that is not Amir. Amir's just coming through the last corner now. Here he is. He's just behind Moti Peretz on those mediums, who also has to come in. He's going to get the DRS off the Ferrari? No, he's not, so he is using all of that battery. Here comes Avi out of the pits. Showsman has retired from the session. Is that going to be a safety car? Yes, it is! So Avi, if he'd just held out one more lap, but I mean, he couldn't have known that, so he made the right call. It's just, you know, hindsight is everything. Who's got the fastest lap? Let's find out. I think that's here. Fastest lap, it belongs to Amir at the moment with a 10.3, and I think it's going to stay that way with the rain now out. So Amir, that means all he has to do now is finish in the top 9, and he will win the race. So Avi is out in P2. He's going to be just behind Speed, but now in the wet conditions, Speed has already shown in qualifying that he was absolutely formidable in the intermediate conditions. So it's going to take a miracle for anyone else to win this race, you feel. Moti Peretz has got himself a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. You hate to see it. He was going so well. And, oh, don't be surprised. Oh, please, please, Moti, don't come in. Don't come in think that you can serve it under the safety car. Please, please wait until the safety car goes out. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him go in for a drive-through under the safety car and then have a pit stop. Come on, Moti. Please tell me you know the rules. Oh, you really do hate to see it, as that's Lostock into the pits for the Inters finally, and Moti, he hasn't gone in, thank goodness. Okay, so but he does still have a drive through, and he is still going to drop all the way to the back. Such a shame, such a waste of a really good drive it's been so far from the Israeli. But he will be dropping to the back as soon as the safety car comes in. Lostock has really benefited though. He's gotten on the intermediate tyres under the safety car. Very lucky, because if the safety car hadn't come out, then he would be completely screwed. Having one more lap on those mediums. So very lucky, and he is coming out in P9. So everyone catching up to the safety car now, and I'm gonna have a bit of my drink. You know the rules, and so do I. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. And that will be the limit of my singing on stream. There's who's that coming into the pits? Oh, it's Zuba. Okay. Thought that was Amir for a second. So yeah, things are very calm now. Beautiful, truly beautiful. Thank you. And you know, sometimes the best things last for only 3 seconds. So I will not be potentially embarrassing myself anymore. Most effort I've ever put into a Rickroll was it was on a Discord server, and I spent a couple of days making sure. I'm not going to comment any further on that, don't worry. As soon as I said it, I knew that would be played back. But yeah, it was. I spent a couple of days making sure that I was spelling out the whole chorus of the song with the first letter of every message in reverse, so that when you went to search for messages from me and then read the first letter of each one downwards, it would spell out the whole chorus. Which was a lot of fun. And it made people very angry when they figured out that that it had happened. So Rickroll. Well, Rick, you don't want to be rolling in F1. That's one thing you don't want to be doing. Safety car's still out, more cars coming into the pit, so it will be out for a little while longer. Might be in this lap, but I wouldn't hold your breath. 9 laps to go in this race. Thankfully Rick didn't roll at turn 9. Indeed. Yeah, I mean, at least, like, Rick, at least you finished the race. Like, 0 points would be a lot worse than... well, no, it wouldn't be 0 because it was right at the end, wasn't it? So you'd still be classified, but even so. It could have been even worse. So you got to look on the bright side for these things sometimes. There's still a Mercedes. We're still waiting for Zuba, but I think Zuba is lapped. So yeah, he is, because Kapitanov is also lapped. So that means everyone behind him is lapped. So I think the safety car might be in this lap, because I don't think we wait for lapped cars. But I might be wrong. It is in this lap. Okay. So when is Speed gonna punch it? Is he gonna go at the same place? He went just under the red advertising board last time. So will he do the same again, or will he go a bit earlier or later? It was here that he went before. He's gone a little bit earlier this time. He's caught Avi out a little bit, but not too much. Amir has been very much caught out, and he's got Tier for company now right behind. Here they come up towards turn 1. The 2 Ferraris behind as well. Moti Peretz goes for a send on his teammate, which I'm not sure is the right choice, as Callum and Ted go off the track. As Moti Peretz doesn't lose the position in the end, but he does still have a drive-through penalty to serve, remember. So, yeah, Moti Peretz is going to drop all the way to the back as Vans Racing has a little bit of a moment. Is that Lostock and ESRL going for it as well? Ted is all the way down to P12 as Lostock is very wide and ESRL straight through. Callum is round the outside of Moti Peretz as well in the wet. This could end badly. It doesn't. There's no contact, thankfully. And Moti Peretz down to P7, but he's going to be dropping a lot further than that after his drive-through penalty. Now it's sunny if they're back. Oh no, Moti Peretz has slipped. He's gone for a spin, and that's going to be even worse. Don't get disqualified, Moti. Don't get disqualified. Okay, he's good. He comes back onto the track. Vans avoids him. We've got a yellow flag, but no safety car or VSC or anything. Neil now looking to get through, but Moti's still got that drive through to serve. Is he going to serve it this lap, I wonder? I hope so for his sake. There's a bit of wing there. I think that's the wing off Lostock, who comes into the pits now. Disaster for him. I think it was Kapitanov as well, the lapped car, and Moti Peretz stays out, so he's not serving his drive-through quite yet. I'm not sure about that as he gets right up the backside of Vans Racing. But can't quite get any move done, but I'm not sure there would be any point since he does still have that drive-through. Still raining at the moment, so there's no sign of slicks as Ted has retired in the pit lane, so he's called it a day, which is very unfortunate for the Northern Irishman. But we move on as Avi has already lost 2 seconds to Speed Alcoholic. Zuba gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Amir is still very comfortable in P3. As Neil now gets past Moti Peretz, who ships another position. Neil looking down the inside of Vans Racing as well, who gets a poor exit. And the McLaren up into P8. Moti Peretz too far behind to take advantage. Also Twig SpongeBob, yeah. Yeah, the meme has changed over the course of the race, unfortunately. As Vans goes for a spin, and he's going to be reset automatically to the track. Oh, disaster for the Haas driver. He was driving so well as well. It was going really well, but unfortunately, sometimes it happens, and in the wet conditions out of the last corner, it can be very, very difficult. And yeah, we've seen what can happen there. Callum close to the back of Tier, but still can't make the move as Tier goes very wide, though. Is that going to open the gap for Callum as Moti now comes in for his drive-through as Callum goes for a slide and just about manages to save it. Race of attrition right here, absolutely. Well, towards the back it is. At the front, everyone's looking pretty comfortable as Tier goes very deep again, and Callum is going to say thank you very much. And straight through up into P4, but I think the penalty situation would mean, yeah, Tier with 9 seconds, Callum with 3, so yeah, not too much in the way of that. I think we'll keep it on penalties, actually, because we know that everyone's on inters. So yeah, Callum with 3, Tier with 9, ESRL with 6. ESRL? I think Rick said it was ESRL, so I'll go with that. Moti Peretz, 3 seconds, of course, after his drive, but he's had his drive though, so he's all the way at the back anyway. ESRL still trying to get back past Womax, but he does have those 6 seconds of penalties, so it's not going to matter too much at the moment. There's 4.5 laps to go in this race. Speed Alcoholic looking very, very comfortable. 3.7 seconds ahead of Avi. And here comes ESRL with Womax. Has a bit of a moment, goes wide out of turn 4, but ESRL can't quite take advantage. He looked to go side by side up the hill, but not enough speed to be able to do it. As Womax gets a bit of a moment again, regardless of Zach's weird and wonderful stories, of his school teacher. Here comes ESRL down the inside of Womax. He's going to make the move pretty comfortably, but of course those 6 seconds of penalties are going to really cost him by the end. Womax at the moment looking at a P5 finish, and I think he'd be very chuffed with that in the Ferrari. ESRL. Okay, I'll go with that then. ESRL. A mere 1.5 seconds behind his championship rival now. But he doesn't need to overtake him. He just needs to finish in that top 8. In fact, with Speed winning the race very comfortably, all Amir needs to do is finish in the top 12, which isn't going to be too difficult given that 12th place is currently lapped. So all he needs to do basically is not crash. So keep it together, Amir. You've got a championship on the line as ESRL goes down the inside of Tier, looked like, and takes P5 for now. With those 6 seconds of penalties, he needs to make sure he doesn't lose out to Womax, who is dropping back, so ESRL still might be able to secure his P5 here. Oh, ESRL. Like that. ESRL. Something like that. If he crashes on the last lap, Rick, I'll take your trophy and hand it to him. Yeah, I think it would be well deserved, but I mean, from what I've seen of Amir, I don't think he's a bottler. He isn't. He really isn't. I mean, after that race in Britain, as Tier gets himself another 3-second time penalty and nearly spins it into the wall as well. But yeah, after that race in Silverstone, where he spun under the safety car and then did the entire race on the same set of inters, a 0-stop race, and managed to win the race. I think after seeing that, I find it hard to believe that Amir will bottle this championship. Tier's really struggling now. He's got those 12 seconds penalties, of course, but he's struggling to keep the car on track. Just get it to the end here. Come on, man. You're still on for P7 at the moment, so yeah, hopefully he can get there. But Amir is within 1.3, 1.2 of his championship rival, but he's using that battery. But I think he's not going to be too interested in making a move. He just wants to secure this title as Vans Racing gets a huge moment on the exit. Does he have a front wing? Yeah, okay, he hasn't got damage, but he just had a big moment, and Lostock has taken advantage of that. But he's still in the top 10 as there's a yellow flag. I think that's Moti Peretz having a spin. So we're here on the penultimate lap. Speed Alcoholic already 7 seconds clear of Avi. And, I mean, what a drive. He absolutely loves this track. Amir, Great Britain race of the season. I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't agree more. I haven't even seen all of the races of this season of the ESRL, and I find it hard to believe that any other drive would top that. That was an absolutely wonderful drive. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're on to the final lap now. Speed Alcoholic, he has controlled this race so easily. Just effortless, it seems, from the Alfa Romeo. As Avi still looking to defend from his championship rival. He doesn't need to, Amir. He doesn't need to make a move here. As they come round for the final lap. All the gaps looking pretty spaced out at the moment, other than this one between the two rivals, and I think it's quite fitting that they finish so close to each other in this finale race of the season, because they have been so close all season long, and it looked like Amir had bottled his championship lead when he went round in Silverstone, and then, as we say, an absolutely fantastic drive to come back and win the race and keep his championship very much in his own hands. But here comes Speed Alcoholic. He has been untouchable this race, and he comes around the final corner to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Avi comes home in P2, but it's all about Amir E77, who comes across the line to become the first ever ESRL champion of the world. What a season it has been, and a well-deserved championship for Amir. A fantastic fight between him and Avi all season long, but it is Amir who has come out on top in the end. Callum in a very respectable P4. E-Rappel, very respectable P5 as well for him on his debut, I believe. Wumax in P6, Tier down into P8 in the end. Neil P7, Lostock finished P9, and Vans did finish in the top 10 in the end, so I'm happy for him. And then the other cars were lapped, I believe. But Wumax gets Driver of the Day. I will give my verdict on Driver of the Day as soon as the results come up. I think Driver of the Season, there's no doubt about it, Amir. But I think Driver of the Day today has to go to Speed, because he was absolutely untouchable. He did exactly what he had to do, and yeah, I mean, how can you not give it to him? What a drive it was. Dominant in Brazil yet again for Speed Alcoholic in the Alfa Romeo. It's Avi in P2 in the Alpine. He did everything he possibly could, but Amir just too consistent, too strong, finishes on the podium with the fastest lap as well, and wins the ESRL World Championship Season 1. Callum, the reserve driver, I think he's reserve, P4, E-Rappel P5, the Dutchman, so you're right, Rick, it is a Dutch name. In the Williams, Wumax, the Bulgarian, P6 in the Ferrari, Neil in P7, Tier in P8 in the Williams, Lostock P9, and Vans Racing finishes out the top 10. Moti Peretz, such a shame, he was putting on such a good drive, but that drive through under the safety car really cost him, and he has finished P11 in the end. Sebmail in 12th, Zuba 13th, Kapitanov in P14, and then Ted, Shosman, Leclerc, and Scott all failing to finish the race. You need to stop getting penalties. I couldn't agree more, Tier. You really do. If you didn't get any track limits penalties, you'd be banging out top 6, top 7 finishes every single race. Just gotta work on that control in race conditions, just to not breach those track limits. Amir's win in Great Britain is his only win of the season. Wow, really? I mean, incredible consistency it's been from him. But yeah, well done to both of them, Avi and Amir. It's been absolutely wonderful to watch them race all season long, and yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to next season. I hope they're both back for another battle, because it's been very close. But it is Amir who comes away with the spoils this season. Consistency is key. George Russell, as he spins under the safety car. But anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been wonderful to comment on ESRL this season. Commentate, I mean. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I hope all the big championship contenders are back, and maybe Speed will be in it as well this season, the next season. But regardless, contracts are being negotiated. I've been Ghost. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.